Yeah, man. Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna show you how to make salt mackerel rundung with coconut milk powder. You will need a 50-gram pack coconut milk powder, 1/4-inch piece ginger, 2 or 3 large dried pimento berries, teaspoon dried basil, teaspoon dried parsley. Use any of these herbs fresh. Springtime, half scotch bonnet pepper, 2 garlic cloves, a small between medium-sized onion, half pound salt mackerel, teaspoon distilled white vinegar. You could use any flavored vinegar. Visit Jamaican cookings.com for the recipe. First, prepare vegetable seasonings. Put the seasonings on one plate. Keep the seasonings separate. Put 2 or 3 dried pimento berries on the plate. Measure and put aside 1 teaspoon dried parsley, and then measure 1 teaspoon dried basil. You could use any of these herbs fresh. Chop it fine. If you don't want to use herbs, use 1 tablespoon of all-purpose powdered seasoning. Instead, half scotch bonnet pepper, cut 1/4-inch piece ginger, springtime. Wash the pepper, the scallion, the thyme, and the ginger in some water. Sprinkle distilled white vinegar or use salt. And then rinse it. Peel garlic. Trim spoilage. Mash or grind 2 garlic cloves to puree. Peel onion. I like to cut the onion in half. It's easier to handle. Peel it. Remember, the first layer of the onion is the strongest. Only throw it away if it is spoiling. After that, dice or slice the onion fine. Chop scallion fine. Remember to remove thyme leaf. Cut off the scallion's tip and the root end. Wash it properly first. Use a sharp knife or a scissors such as this. And then dice the scallion fine. This is half teaspoon of organic homemade fried chicken seasoning. Prepared vegetable seasonings. Put this aside for later. Get a big bowl ready. Step 2. Clean and prepare salt mackerel for cooking. Half pound salt mackerel. Put the salt mackerel into the bowl. Ensure to shake out any salt that might be in the salt mackerel. Pour enough water on the salt mackerel and then sprinkle several drops of distilled white vinegar in the water. Now, use a sharp knife. Do like me. Go between the salt mackerel. Use the knife to clean the inside of the salt mackerel properly. This is where they gutted the salt mackerel. They didn't clean it out entirely properly, so you have to do that part. Do this. Do like me. Use the knife. Scrape the surface of the inside to remove this black film. It might be a little bit challenging, it might be difficult to remove. You can use your fingers to rub it. Ensure to remove this black film. Go where the bone is and scrape out this clot blood. Go where the salt mackerel's head is. Use the knife. Clean out the inside properly. They used to have a saying in Jamaica, I don't know if they still do. Some man in Jamaica say they don't eat salt mackerel because it have period. Anyway, that's foolish. Salt mackerel is a good source of omega-3. It's a good substitute for cod oil, if it's not cod oil. Salt mackerel is good for your heart and it is good for your brain. Salt mackerel is a great nutrient for your heart. It's an awesome nutrient for your heart. Ensure to clean the inside of the salt mackerel properly. After you do that, Throw away this dirty salt mackerel water. Rinse it 1 or 2 times. It's best if you do this part under fresh running water. Try not to break up the fish while you are cleaning it. While you are rinsing the salt mackerel, use your fingers, rub the inside clean. At the end of the day, you must clean this part properly. Next, put salt mackerel in a medium-sized saucepan or stewing pot. Add enough water. Fill the pot with water so that it covers the salt mackerel that is in the pot. After you do that, put the pot to fire. Turn on the stove's flame. Put the pot to fire. Use the pan's lid. Close it. Open the lid halfway. Allow. Put the stove's gauge flame on 4, medium-low. After 10 minutes it's ready. Turn off stove. Next, remove the pre-cooked salt mackerel from the water. Or remove the water from the pot. Next, add enough water in the saucepan. Rinse off the pre-cooked mackerel 2 times to wash out the salt. Some people would boil it 2 times within the 10 minutes. Therefore, they boil it for 5 minutes, throw off that water, and then boil it again for 5 more minutes and then throw off that water, which I believe is a better way. Have piece newspaper or a piece of paper nearby so that you can put the bones on it. Now, remove the bone from the pre-cooked salt mackerel. Use your fingers. Feel for the bones and remove it. You don't want to break up the salt mackerel too much, but go through the salt mackerel. Remove the salt mackerel backbone or the center bone. Ensure to clean off the salt mackerel fish that's on it. In other words, pick it off. It's good. Use your fingers. Pull out the bones. You could eat the fish fin and the other pieces that you're throwing away. Just be careful, remember it has bone. Remove the fin bone, chew it. Remove the salt mackerel head. Ensure to pick off the small pieces of fish meat that is on it. It's good. Look for the small bones. Remove it and throw it away. Rip off the tail and throw it away. You could eat the fish fin and the other pieces that you're throwing away. You could chew the fish fin. Some people would still cook the head, but I don't like to. So if you're gonna cook the head, just remove the eyes. Women in Jamaica likes to eat fish head for whatever reason. I don't know why, really. Patiently go through, remove the salt mackerel's bone. This is it. Put the clean, pre-cooked and prepped salt mackerel aside for the next step. Excuse me, but soak it dry like this and then throw it away. Next, prepare the coconut milk powder for cooking. Measure 1 cup water and then add coconut milk powder in the water. Alright, listen. I want the presentation to look good for you. This is a 50-gram pack of coconut milk powder. I am using the entire pack. I want the cream in the salt mackerel rundung meal to look rich. But in general, general, when I do this for myself, I only use 25 grams of coconut milk powder, which is half of this pack. So you could use 25 grams to 50 grams of coconut milk powder in this recipe, and the rundown will still come out good. Use a spoon, mix the coconut milk powder in the water good. Mix it properly. Coconut milk. Put it aside for the next step. Next, put to heat a medium-sized saucepan or a stewing pot. Put the stove's gauge on 4, medium-low. Allow the pan to get hot for a few seconds. Ensure that the inside of the pan is dry. If you're in a hurry, use a clean paper towel. Dry it out. After that, measure and add 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. I am using coconut oil. Allow the oil to get hot. 30 seconds between a minute. When the oil got hot somewhat, add diced onion. In the heating oil, use a cooking spoon. Stir it. You could add a piece of ginger now to start building flavor. You don't want a big piece of ginger. Ensure it's a small piece of ginger. Allow it to saute. 30 seconds between 50 seconds. Next, add chopped scallion. Use a cooking spoon. Stir it. Allow it to saute 30 seconds between 40 seconds. Now, add mashed garlic. Stir it. Allow it to saute 30 seconds. Note, the ginger and the pepper is optional. To saute the seasonings first adds additional flavors not in a bottle. This is creating additional flavors not in a bottle or not in the seasonings. Put prepped salt mackerel skin side down in the pot on top. Next, stir the coconut milk well and then add it on the salt mackerel in the pot. Stove's gauge is on 4, medium-low. At the time, add peace pepper and the herbs last. If you're using powdered seasonings, now is a good time to add it. Measure and add half between 1 teaspoon of distilled white vinegar. You could use any flavored vinegar. Stir it gently. The stove's gauge is on 4, medium-low. After 2 minutes, this is it. Leave the lid off. Keep your eyes on the pepper. Keep the pepper on top so that you can see it. Just use the cooking spoon and stir it a little bit. Do not break up the fish. Allow. Stove's gauge is still on 4, medium-low. Allow. After 4 minutes more, a total of 6 minutes, this is it. Remove peace pepper. Use the cooking spoon. Stir it 3 to 4 times. You could remove springtime. The springtime, in my opinion, tends to have a strong flavor. So now would be a good time to remove it because the flavor of the springtime might overpower the meal and you don't want it. Let it stay. Lid off. The stove's gauge is on 4, medium-low. Allow. After 4 minutes more, a total of 10 minutes, use the cooking spoon. Stir it. Stir it a few times. This is it. Remember to leave the lid off. The stove's gauge is still on 4, medium-low. Allow. After 2 minutes more, a total of 12 minutes, the coconut cream is getting thick. The salt mackerel rundown looks like this. Use the cooking spoon. Stir it. Stir it a few times. Try not to break up the fish. The stove's gauge is still on 4. Allow. After 1 minute, use the cooking spoon. Stir it. Feel if the cream is sticking on the pot's bottom. From now on, look on it every minute. Allow. Stove's gauge is on 4. Allow sauce to get thick. After 1 minute more, a total of 14 minutes, this is it. The sauce is getting thick. If you're in a hurry, you could turn the flame up, stir it to thicken the sauce more. Use the cooking spoon, stir it. Once the sauce starts to stick to the pot's bottom, that's a sign to say it's ready. That's it. Turn the stove off. It's finished. Or you could just leave it on 4 and just let it get thick for 2 more minutes and then finished. Use the pan's lid. Cover it until serving. Before serving, use the cooking spoon. Stir it. I am taking a scoop of this delicious looking salt mackerel rundung to put on 2 dumplings on a plate. This is salt mackerel rundung cooked with coconut milk powder. Visit Jamaican cookings.com for the recipe. Subscribe, like, and share. You should try cooking salt mackerel rundung with coconut milk powder this way. When you do, come back. Share with us your experience. Salt mackerel rundung, aka rundung. Eat salt mackerel rundung with food and boiled dumplings such as these. Salt mackerel rundung is delicious with spaghetti. Try it. This rundung meal is not salt. It is very creamy. It tastes delicious. This salt mackerel rundung is giving me a food orgy. This is delicious. This tastes good. Box cover. This salt mackerel meal tastes good. The rundung tastes good. The herbs is giving this rundung a natural flavor. The pepper gave it flavor. It is not spicy, none at all. The small piece ginger flavor, it is infumed in the sauce. It is embedded in the sauce. Enjoy. Visit JamaicanCookings.com. Until next time, walk good. Megan.
Yeah, man.
This is salt mackerel rundung on spaghetti. Megan.